So for my podcast, I wanted to share with you an excerpt of my final paper for my classes this semester. It's on the theory of ancient astronauts. And the part I wanted to share with you is Oak Island, because it's something real that you could go and see and read about. And it's one of the rumored resting places of the Ark of the Covenant. It was discovered back in 1795. Three young men saw strange lights. And the curiosity got the best of them, and they decided to row out to Oak Island and check it out. Once they got to the island, they followed what they had seen. And when exploring the island, the three young men found a compression on the south side of the island. After digging a small way, they hit a rock. The rocks they found were flagstone and were in a circular pattern. Flagstone is not normally found on Oak Island. They dug through 10 feet of flagstone when they struck wood. They thought that there might have been a pirate treasure chest they had found. The island had been rumored to belong to pirates for the longest time. Once they finished clearing up the wood, they realized something, that they had not hit a pirate treasure, but had in fact found something completely different. Once the wood was clear, they realized that they were standing on a wood platform. The wood platform was pieced together and mortared with clay to keep it sealed. They broke past the wood, which happened to be oak. Oak is not native to Canada. After they had then dug through another 10 feet of flagstone to get down. Eventually they reached the depth of 30 feet by only using picks and shovels. Winter was coming, and the boys decided they had dug enough, or dug as far as they could go. The boys convinced people in their town over the winter that there could be treasure on the island. Over the next few years, a local doctor was able to raise enough funds to begin a real excavation of the dig site. When the new crew began digging, they found a mat of coconut fiber. Coconut, definitely not a natural plant from Canada. The new excavation crew continued running into the same problem the three boys had. Every 10 feet they would run into another platform, and in between the platforms was a flagstone. This crew was able to dig the site down to 90 feet, where they found something very interesting. They uncovered a large slab of rock. This rock was not flagstone, which at this point is all they had seen. They hoisted the rock up and out of the hole. Once they cleaned the rock off, they discovered there was writing on the rock. The writing on the rock was nothing they recognized. Later that day, they also discovered what sounded like a hollow vault. Since it was late in the day, they decided to wait until morning and come back and continue. They had stopped at 90 feet. After 8 long hours of work, the next morning started on a high note. They began lowering the first man down into the pit. After only being lowered down 30 feet into the pit, the worker was submerged in water. That means that somehow in the span of one night, the pit filled with over 60 feet of water. 50 years later, the stone slab that they had found finally been decoded. 40 feet down, 2 million pounds buried. At this point, that puts the suspected treasure at around 130 feet down from the surface. Then in 1850, the new crew on the project realized that the water in the money pit rose and fell with the tides. It has now been discovered that the water from the surrounding ocean feeds into the money pit. The money pit is the shaft that they dig into. In an effort to discover where the water was coming into the pit, the crew poured highly concentrated red dye into the pit. While watching the waters for the dye to come out, they discovered the leak. They also discovered 2 more leaks, a total of 3 canals feeding into the money pit. And that's the money pit. This is real. They've gone down 90 feet. Every 10 feet is an oak platform filled with rocks, flagstone in between, which is crazy. And one of the reasons why I think the Ark of the Covenant is down there is because when they tested the wood in the money pit, the wood tested to either be really old or futuristic, which is only possible from radiation. And one of the theories for the Ark of the Covenant is that it was some sort of nuclear reactor that gave off radiation. I really found that interesting because it's real. All the theories in ancient astronauts are mostly conjecture, and you can't really know for sure. It's all a leap of faith. But Oak Island is real, and there's something down there. They have found, they drilled down past the point where they've dug, and they came up with a little gold chain. So there's something down there. They just don't know what yet. So it's pretty interesting. You guys should check it out and learn about it. It's really fascinating.